You've gone through your self-assessment. You've determined that this is the right time for you to start a business. Your family is excited. You have the skill set. You've thought about what the demand is. You've researched it, and you determined that now is the time for you. So you've then gone through the process of determining a location. You've determined whether or not you're going to have a home office, or whether you're gonna lease a commercial space. Okay, you've gone to that point, and you're comfortable with that decision. Then from there, you've moved on, and you've decided about the way you're going to finance. You've either gotten a bank loan, you've used some of your personal finances, maybe a combination of the two, possibly a business line of credit with the bank, and so you've been able to inject funds into your business. The other thing you've done is you've opened a business bank account, so critically important. You've separated your business and your personal. You're not using the funds from the business to buy groceries or clothing or anything on your personal side. And so you've completely separated it out. You're just only using the business cash and funds for business purposes. And so now you're starting to get into the process of delivering your product and service. And so now you're moving into a point where you're in operations now. You've got your product, you're pushing your product, you are seeing your customers or your clients, you're servicing their needs, and all of a sudden you get your first notice from some governmental or regulatory agency. And you say, oh my gosh, what have I done? Well, don't panic, because being in business a lot of times, again, is like raising kids. You learn some of the things as you go. And so, you've got to understand that being in business is going to mean that you're going to have to comply with various issues, whether it's IRS issues, whether it's a business license you may have to obtain. There are legal issues that you need to address. Well, I want to continue to talk about the necessity of making sure that your books are in order, that you are keeping records accurately, so that when you are confronted with different regulatory issues, that you're able to deal with those issues appropriately. You may find that you, in the course of running your business, you may have to interact with the IRS. You certainly may have to interact with the local leaders of that municipality, a business license office. You're going to have to deal with the state Department of Revenue. You're going to have to deal with any type of licensing board that may oversee a license if in your state, depending on what type of business you have. For example, you could have a barber shop, or you could have an insurance business, or you may have a CPA firm or a law firm, or a medical practice, and all of those require licensing requirements be met. And so you've got to make sure that, again, you're keeping good records on those. Accounting is so very important in running your business, because if you're not taking care of accounting, if you're not paying attention to the bottom line, if you're not managing the numbers of your business, then you're going to quickly find yourself losing track of those details and not knowing whether or not you're making a profit. And that will then cause the business model to suffer, because you need to make sure that you're delivering your product or services in a profitable way. And so one of the things I like to do with my clients is I like to focus on two aspects of their financials. One is profit, making sure that we are making a profit, because businesses only grow in profits and they shrink in losses. And the other thing is making sure that that we have good access to cash. And just like in household, you should make sure you have 3 to 6 months of cash reserve to be able to handle those operating expenses. And that's so critically important because you know, when you look at some of the larger businesses in the United States, some of the publicly traded companies, you'll find that in many cases their stock value is a direct reflection of their access to cash. And if they're able to, they have a healthy cash balance and they don't need to borrow as much, then that's usually reflected in the value of their company. If, on the other hand, if they're struggling to have access to the capital markets and they can't borrow as much because maybe they already are debt heavy, then that's going to be reflected as well. So from a small business and entrepreneur's perspective, you need to make sure that you are growing your cash and you're growing your profits so your business continues to grow. But in all that, you need to be handling the accounting work. The accounting work, again, is going to be important because eventually at some point in time you've got to pay taxes. And so you've got to make sure you have accurate records, because once you file that tax return, if it is subsequently reviewed or audited, the IRS is going to come in and ask for those records. The state is going to come in and ask for those records as well. And so you've got to make sure that you have your records being you have to make sure you have your source documentations, which is your bank statements, your receipts, everything else, which is going to lead into your financial statements or your books, which is then going to lead into your tax return. And that's the way you're going to be able to successfully comply with those legal requirements out there for your business. So if you want to know more about that, if you need some assistance with that, please give me a call. My number is 334-702-4366. Again, my website is www.donmccleodcpapc.com. And remember, I'm here for you.